You know what sound that is, folks. You betcha. It's another Noon Whistle. I'm Chris Trottier, and
I'm John Anzalone, and I'm here at the Elkhorn High School today by the auto shop. Chris, we got a big month coming up here. What's going on?
we are celebrating Career and Technical Education Month, CTE Month. And I will say this, Elkhorn Area High School has the best CTE program in the state and region, and the best teachers. We should go take a look at one of our premier programs. Who do you want to see today?
We're going to go into the auto shop and track down Mr. Austin Thorson, who's probably really busy, but we'll see if we can pull him away.
What's he doing today? What class are you going to visit?
I think it's Autos 3. So this is the advanced kids, and we'll see what kind of work is going on in here.
Well, as you're walking, I'll talk to our numerous listeners and tell them this is where Austin runs his auto shop, where he actually works on cars for teachers and local people to give kids hands-on experience. So yeah, let's go in and take a look.
All right, here we're going to switch our view here and see who we can find.
There you go. Look at that. Oh man, look at you. I can see your shadow. You look good.
A little 0.5 in it here.
Oh gosh, you're big time.
Let's see. So this is what's going on today. It looks like we got a lot of people doing.
We got the tractor over there that was competing. He's got five lifts. Yep. Those kids went to Nashville.
Yeah, I'm gonna just give you a little quick tour here while I'm coming in. There's a lot of stuff happening in here. A lot of kids doing work. We got one right here. Look at that.
What's he doing today? Looks like he's airing up the tires.
What are you doing today?
So we just finished replacing studs on this. So we're just checking the tire pressures before you take it for a test drive and make sure everything's working.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see if maybe we can find some other people.
Oh, this looks like a busy spot. Let's see what's going on here.
We got some good stuff going on here. There's Mr. Thorson on the other side. We're going to let him finish teaching here.
You know, John, I just want to tell everybody this. You know, Austin has, was a Harbor Freight recipient of a $50,000 scholarship. He also, his students compete locally, regionally, and nationally, and have great success. As you walk forward, you're going to see some Snap-on boxes and some Mac tool boxes. Yeah, those were all won by his students in competing. You see them over there? That right there, that UTI and those boxes. Yeah, those were also successful. You see he's got his alignment machine set up with technology. It's a pretty modernized space for a high school auto shop.
It is. I'm going to see if I can get Mr. Thorson to stop walking here. We're going to flip this around. Look at who I found.
Oh, man. The camera, now we got some good-looking people on the show. That's good.
We do. Hey, we're going to walk our way around here and get out of the shop so that we can hear Mr. Thorson as we talk.
So, John, as we're talking to Austin, and we'll let him go and kind of tell his thing, let's also weave in. I know Austin's been slowly developing a relationship with Cunis that we can talk a little bit about, too.
Yeah, we're going to try and have a seat here at the table. And we'll get you straight here a minute. We're having a little technical. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, great.
All right. Can you see Austin?
Beautifully.
Because that's what's most important today, is that you see Austin.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for being on the Noon Whistle, Austin. Why don't you give us a little, I mean, I know it obviously, but talk a little bit about how many years you've been doing this, kind of some of your highlights on what you're most proud of.
This is my 14th school year. At the end of the school year, I've been here 13 and a half years. And over the last 13 years, we've kind of revamped our automotive program. We went from having a variety of different classes, trying to keep the program full-time, to really honed it into 3 levels of auto, and auto 1, 2, and 3, starting as a sophomore, kind of getting into the fundamentals. Auto 2, getting into all undercar, chassis, suspension, and Auto 3, to this day, we're still running our student-led service center. That's actually the class in the background that's running right now. They're working on multiple different vehicles with all different problems today, trying to get some real-world experience. I think that kind of the big highlights are is in the 13, 14 years I've been here, the students have really pushed me to try a lot of new stuff. Last year we competed in a tractor restoration competition. We made it to be one of the 12 finalists of the nation in it. Students went down and competed really well. Very, very intense competition, probably one of the harder ones we've been in. We got into the Technicians of Tomorrow last year at the Greater Milwaukee Auto Show. We're heading that way again this year. Ben Reed and Dave Wartbagel made it into it this year. We've been working with our local business partner, Candace, who sponsored us for both not only the car, but also for coaching us, which has been really great. We actually met with them yesterday. We've been meeting with John O'Brien and Justin Hoffman over there, and they've been teaching them electrical, air conditioning. We've even gotten the opportunity to work with the car that we're going to be working with at the competition, which has been super great. I think the biggest thing is student success is key. I think that's what's been driving our program for so many years.
Chris, what's interesting is when I got here today and I was kind of setting up and doing things, the kids came in, they put their stuff on the table. Mr. Thorson said, all right, here's what we're going to do. And it was like everybody spread out and started doing something right away.
Well, you walk in, I mean, just, I am so proud of Austin and what he's built, and you're not, the hours he's put in to create such a great program for kids and train the next generation of technicians. As you're walking in, it looked like an auto service that you'd walk in, whether it's, we just had Dan and Vince Weddage on. This looks just like you'd walk into their shop. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, exactly. It does, and it operates. I mean, the kids are so responsible. They just jumped right in and went to work and made sure they said hi to me on the way by, but they were busy, ready to go. And, Austin, obviously it's hard to promote yourself, but he is so active here, and he's with the kids as open shop at night where they can come in and work on stuff. There's just so many opportunities. In fact, tonight is our community auto shop night where anybody can sign up, come in, and get the basics on changing your wipers, oil, what else do you guys talk about?
We do fluids, jump in a car, how to charge a battery, locating information. We do all kind of in one night. And then the second night that they come back for, we kind of do all tires and undercar. Everything that we do in that is going to be roadside tire change, how to plug a tire, tire pressure, even just understanding the basics of the sidewall information and how to locate proper tire pressure, understanding these new cars with tire pressure monitors and stuff. Just trying to help get the consumer educated enough on, hey, maybe you don't want to be a mechanic, but knowing a little bit of the lingo and working with stuff on your car is going to help not only promote longevity, keep you off the side of the road, but have better conversations.
And who teaches that?
All my students do. My auto club students do.
Wow.
Riley Day is in charge of our auto club this year. He took over after his sister last year, who's actually currently working at Lynch and going to Fox Valley Tech to be a mechanic. And he's been setting it up. They've been working on putting folders and things together. I kind of just do a little bit on safety just for the kids, and then they take over the rest of the night. And I just kind of help supervise and help or keep things flowing as well, which is kind of weird to be not in the teaching position.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch and really rewarding to see the students do it.
Well, it's the highest level. I think, Austin, you brought something up, and I just wanted to highlight this because I know it's important to you, and it shows your connection with kids and your investment in the program and the school and the community. So you mentioned the young lady who's at Lynch, and we were on a tour, and we'll give a little shout out to the Lynch family, Tyson Fettis and his crew for giving us a tour of the dealership, the truck center, and LDV. Pretty cool tour, wasn't it, Austin?
Oh, it was incredible. I have actually got like 4 or 5 students come talk to me about it. I've got one he was looking at architecture and doing like maybe engineering and drawing, and now after seeing LDV, he's like, man, I didn't even know that type of career existed where I can take what I like in automotive, but then apply it to the architectural side. And I'm like, it's incredible.
It is. And
LDV.
so,
yeah. What are we talking about?
LDV, they are building custom-made trucks. So like while we're there, they do all the Snap-on tool trucks. We even got to walk inside of I think they said it was about $1.3 or $1.4 million custom-built fire truck. It's a command center going up to Green Bay. They make all the slide outs. They make all of the interior of it. Basically, they're taking a cab and chassis and they're building a custom-made like mobile command center on the back of it, which was wild. I mean, down to the carpentry, even the furniture they're picking up.
Yeah. They have the largest wood shop I've ever seen. So, but circling back, I think, when we, as we're walking around, that was the same week that you got a donation from an alum. Talk a little bit about highlight a few. I know there's a lot of them, what kids are doing after they've completed your program, and how they've given back too at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's probably been the funnest part for me is like even in our car show, we see a lot of alumni. So like last year for our car show for like picking out cars, I had so many alumni come back who are in the industry that I was able to put like 20 kids together. Well, they're not kids anymore; they're all adults. I think they're just kids still, but they're all adults now, and they were able to vote for all the vehicles in our car show. And if the alumni, they don't only honor the kids that have gone through these programs. You know, they're young adults now. They're out in the world. They're starting families. They want to give back to the program here. I think it's not just giving back, but I think they still see themselves sitting in these stools as, hey, maybe I didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know that the automotive field could turn into such a huge career, or just even trades in general. And the experiences here, they want to keep help, not only provide those for the students, but kind of grow them. I've had students, like I think of like Alex Figueres from years ago, when we had our, we brought business partners in. He came all the way down from Appleton. The dealership he was working at let him bring a brand new Range Rover down. He stripped the car down so the kids could see how it worked. Talked about how from the stool in Elkhorn to how he got to be like, I think it's like number 30 on the Jaguar list in the world or the nation now for Master Techs. Awesome mechanic. And he came back and just kind of talked kids through. He's like, when I came in the doors here, it was just an idea. Didn't know I wanted to be a mechanic, and just but the experiences and the opportunities that were provided to him in here gave him the chance to be able to do what he's doing today. And there's tons of them like that. I mean, and they don't only, want to come back. I think of even like Weddage, like that you guys had on recently this week.
Yeah.
I had Vince in class. Vince was one of my first students. I mean, I've got great memories working with Vince. And I think of the stuff I'm doing today and what I was doing with Vince. And I almost wish I was doing these things that I'm doing today with Vince.
Yeah.
We could have even gotten so much further. But even locally, like Weddage has been fantastic to work with. I mean, we've had issues with tire balancers and things over the years. They were, they donated us one recently, or if we needed to bring things over, they even worked with us for our radiator on our tractor project last year. It wasn't we don't know. It was whatever we could do. We want to help these kids have success, which I think that's what makes an automotive program in a high school setting so great. Is not only what we're doing in the building, but the alumni, the local business partners, really the key piece to making everything successful.
John, did you know that Austin, an alumni, donated a what did it? What, I'm blanking. What did you just get? Oh, good Lord.
I've gotten a few donations recently. We got a car donated for Fox Lake Technical
Forklift.
Oh, we got a forklift donated.
Sorry.
Yes. No.
Coffee hasn't kicked in yet, boys.
Yeah. No. And there's been so much going on. We're getting ready for competitions. Bradenville Porter is working for ForkliftTrader.com. They're out of Waukesha. He was in my Auto 3 class, took all my auto classes, was super involved in Auto Club. Left high school, kind of dabbled in diesel. He was working at the county, working on things there. He ended up working for the DeLong's company, working up in Milwaukee at their port up there, and just kind of was dabbling with things, fell into this job at this forklift dealership where they are trading forklifts not only nationwide, but they're doing them worldwide as well. And his company was so impressed with his skills and the things that we were doing in high school, they actually fixed up and donated a forklift to our program to be able to teach kids not only what that industry looks like, but give them a piece of equipment to be able to learn on as well. They even painted school colors, and then Braden was able to come in and did a whole day with kids, which was super cool. And it's crazy to think he hasn't even been out of high school. He hasn't even been out of this room for a year yet.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
Austin talks about the alumni and kids coming back and coming to the car shows and all these things and connections. And I think that's a credit to, Austin's a high-level teacher that's been awarded many things because of that. And it's the relationships he's built with kids. When you see these kids come in here, they're smiling, they're happy, they're ready to go, and they come back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a place they want to be now. Yeah. Well,
and we're lucky to have them.
Very lucky, very lucky. Well, and his wife works at a district. Hopefully his kids go to the district. I mean, this is you're doing it right, Austin. What do you got? Why don't you talk a little bit? You did, as I couldn't remember those two big words that come together, forklift. Good Lord. John, I'm getting older, John.
I don't remember either, but
that's all right. Yeah, but you're busy. I'm just kidding. Talk a little bit about your competition, because I think what you have coming up is pretty cool. And talk a little bit about how you are allowed to do that? Where you guys, what it looked like walking in? Because I don't think people realize what these competitions and how hard they are.
Yeah, absolutely. This year alone, the competitions we've been to already. So we started off by going to Indianapolis for that National Tractor Restoration Competition. So Ben and Landon, they restored a tractor, a 1962 770 Oliver, in about 8 months. Wow. So when we got up to that competition, we went into this completely blind, like that specific one, and we come to find out a lot of schools are spending multiple years doing this process. We did it in 8 months. We brought it in December 1. We had it at the FFA State Convention by the second week of June last year. It was wild. And then we were taking pictures of it in July. We found out in August, September that they were going to the finals. They made a presentation, had to go down and present. And it's not just going down and talking about what they thought was cool about it or anything like that. They had to get into the nitty gritty of how does air and paint atomize as they were painting it? How does tolerances in the engine work? Those types of things. And we see that in all of our competitions. This year, we took a written MLR, like the G1, like light maintenance test. And not only did all 8 kids that take it pass it, we had some of the highest scores I've ever had. Gabe and Ben got into it. They were the 3rd highest score. So now we're in this competition. We're 1 of 8 in the state. Cunis is sponsoring us for both sides. And February 28th, we go to the Greater Milwaukee Auto Show, and they'll have to compete against these other 7 schools from the state of Wisconsin who are all top-notch schools. And they are going to get multiple different arrays of tests. So the first one's going to be, there's going to be 10 to 15 bugs on a car, a 2025 Chevy Equinox this year. And they have 90 minutes to diagnose it. They won't know anything that's wrong. They're going to get an RO, and they have to try to diagnose it. 10 to 15 things in 90 minutes. And the minute that is done, they're going to walk them into another room, and they're going to have to take a 30-minute written test.
Wow.
It's just go, go, go. The minute they're done with that, they get a lunch break, and then they'll go through about 10 to 12 stations that are 10 minutes, from electrical to engine construction, job interviews, brakes, tire balancing, how air conditioning systems work, measuring backlash and a differential, all the way through precision measurement of engine components. Which is
Austin, is that competition open to the public, or could John and I visit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
I'm sure I can set it up that you guys can come up there for.
Yeah, we would love to. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'd be up for it. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I think we should go up there. I'd love to see that in action. Real quick, I'm just curious. The written test, is it a prompt? Is it a do you have to write up a diagnostic assessment, or what is it?
So the written test, they're going to just compile like all different type of ASC, so like the automotive certification type questions, and then they have to. It's multiple choice. I don't know exactly how long it is. Each year it changes a little bit, but it can be anything. It could be how electric regenerative braking systems work. That be questions on there. It could be about how much lift does the eccentric on a 350 small block camshaft have to push the fuel pump open. It could be things about how Ohm's Law works. That's a big one that we've been focusing on a lot this year. They're even sponsoring with companies like Peak, who makes different types of coolants and fluids for vehicles, and Permatex, who makes all of our lock additives and thread sealants and things, and they'll have to take an exam on that to understand the different types of sealants and how they work within the field.
So, John, all I keep thinking about is, if you're an employer looking to fill your auto tech needs and add some talent, you don't got to go far, do you?
No, I'm going to have Austin on speed dial and say, "What do you got? Who's coming my way?"
That's right.
They do, yeah. Just listen to this. It's amazing. It's amazing the experiences young men and young women get, and some take it and make a career out of it. And I've heard some kids talk about, I took this and I have a great understanding, and it's become a great hobby. It wasn't what they wanted to do for a career, but they're like, this has been a great hobby for me, and something that I know how to fix my car and save money, and I know how to diagnose things. So yeah, so valuable down here, what kids are doing and what Austin's doing. Like, yeah, he's built this.
Well, and I think what's really cool, and we'll close here, is number one, these are transferable skills these kids are learning, right? I mean, as you just said, you had a kid who could go working in diesel, goes to a forklift, and like you said, he's less than a year out of high school.
Yeah, the students that come through our program, they are they have a lot of tools for success in their toolbox. I mean, we're offering 5 national certifications in class that are all on tools and equipment. And the hope is, I've always just kind of really put around the focus is just trying to get kids as set up as possible with the most experiences they can have I mean, I think that's always been the biggest thing is, people always say, well, what experience do you have? Well, they can now say that they've got some practical experiences while they were in high school. They're walking out the door more marketable, more employable than they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that all students have opportunity to take advantage of this, and some of the brightest are down here. I mean, kids that want to be engineers, kids that want to, be doctors, that are like, this is important, and it's a skill that I can have for the rest of my life.
Well, you think about Austin. What about Cade Fink?
Oh, yeah. God, I miss Cade. He still texts me all the time.
He texts me all the time. Yeah, he's
at flight school right now. I know that.
I know. Wait, he's in, what is he, in the Air Force?
He was going to school to be a mechanical engineer, fell in love with electrical engineering, COVID hit. He sold his Spitfire that we kind of started restoring in high school while I was in college, got his pilot's license for flying Cessnas, fell in love with flying, got into a Marine space program. It's not the ROTC program, but it was where he would kind of go in, I think, as sergeant or a lieutenant. I can't remember specifically. But he went with the Marines because the Marines was the one branch that he was guaranteed if you wanted to go into flight, if you met the requirements, you would get to actually see it through to fly planes.
Yeah, and there's a kid who started off, took all AP courses, project lead the way, got into it. Then all of a sudden, we had an opportunity where he came down to kind of manage and work at your shop. He took project lead the way, engineering, design, and development. Created he had to do a research project with support from Mr. Butters, who works at Reader Precision Solutions. And next thing you know, he's like, I love this space. I want to go, So it's a really cool story on the power of what you do. And I think, we're proud of everybody who's come through. And I'm proud of you, Austin, for all your hard work and what you do. And, the reason we celebrate, this is nothing against any professional in our district or any educator in the state of Wisconsin or in the country. CTE teachers have a lot to maintain. Physical space, equipment, supplies, kids, and to do it to the level you do it where it runs as efficiency is a true celebration of who you are as a person and a professional. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
You bet. John, anything else?
No, this is great. We could go on forever about this, and but we don't have time.
We don't have time. So who do we got next week on the Noon Whistle, John? I think we're heading over. Let's just talk about the month. Austin, you're gonna love this. We kick it off with you. Then we're gonna have Bill Sargent.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, we got to get somebody on base. We got Bill Sargent talking about some of the cool projects he's been doing in woods and building construction. We got Jenny Wademeyer in the FCCLA. We got Chris Lefko down in business and computer design and computer science. We got Jenna Rand and Rebecca Blum in the Digital Innovation Lab. I mean, we got a whole list of just celebrating all hands-on experiential opportunities for kids in career and technical education. So tune in.
All-Star February, Chris. It's All-Star February.
Absolutely. All right, on that note, Austin, thank you so much. John, great job. You're getting better on site. I think that's your jam right now.
Practice helps.
All right, sounds good. On that note,
see ya.
We got to go.